All right, you beautiful science nerds. Let's just talk about raccoons and those hands of theirs. Yeah, those hands. Why does a raccoon have the hands of a tiny, disappointed ghost? Seriously, look at them. They look like spooky little skeleton gloves that have been covered in fuzzy socks. They're like the hands of a miniature failed bank robber who's perpetually wringing them, plotting something damp, like shaking down squirrels for their nut money? Or something far weirder and far more brilliant going on? Yeah, weird and brilliant. Let's do this. Our journey into the bizarre, tactile world of the raccoon's spooky little grabbers begins now. For centuries, science nerds, bless their cotton socks, have been scratching their heads about the raccoon's most iconic and frankly, most bizarre habit. This incessant, almost compulsive washing of their food. It's like they're preparing for a Michelin star meal, but the meal is a half-eaten hot dog bun found under a park bench. Now, the prevailing wisdom, the one that's trotted out in all the dusty textbooks, is that raccoons are just trying to soften their food. Make it easier to swallow, like a soggy biscuit. And sure, that's a secondary effect, but if you've ever watched a raccoon in action, you'll notice they wash things that are already soft, or things that are completely inedible, like a particularly interesting pebble. It's less about hygiene and more about, something else entirely. This isn't just a quirky habit, folks. This is a full-blown evolutionary masterpiece of sensory information gathering. Science nerds have finally figured out what's actually going on in those tiny, thieving brains, and it involves those hands, those glorious, spooky, almost human-like hands. You see, a raccoon's front paws are basically nature's most sophisticated pair of gardening gloves, but with the added bonus of being able to discern the thread count of a discarded sock. Unlike most mammals whose paws are covered in fur, a raccoon's paws are practically naked. This isn't a fashion statement, it's a sensory superpower. These hairless wonders are absolutely jam-packed with nerve endings. We're talking 4 to 5 times more sensory receptors than most other mammals. And here's the kicker, the truly mind-bending part. When these paws get wet, those nerve endings, they go into overdrive. It's like turning the volume up to 11 on their sense of touch. So, it's not washing, people. It's about feeling. It's an information download. When a raccoon dunks its dinner into water, it's not just getting it soggy, it's getting a high-definition 3D tactile scan of its food. They're figuring out every lump, every bump, every delicious, questionable texture of that discarded pizza crust. It's like their hands become a super sensitive sonar system, mapping out their next meal in exquisite detail, even in the dead of night. Which maybe is mostly the point. They can't see a thing, so they rely on their hands. Think about it. Most of us need our eyeballs to figure out if that's a rock or a rogue chicken nugget. A raccoon? It just needs a puddle in its magic hands, which enhance their paws' nerve sensitivity up to 50% greater. It's like they've got built-in submersible MRI machines on the ends of their arms, and it makes perfect sense when you consider their nocturnal, opportunistic lifestyle. Why rely on limited night vision when your hands can see better than your eyes in the dark? So, the next time you see a raccoon performing its peculiar underwater ballet with a stale donut, don't assume it's an aspiring pastry chef with OCD. Assume it's a sensory savant, unlocking a world of tactile data we can only dream of. Now, this incredible tactile sensitivity isn't just for identifying whether that shiny object is edible or just really a pretty bottle cap. It's fundamentally tied to their diet and consequently their astounding adaptability. Raccoons are the ultimate generalists, the culinary adventurers of the animal kingdom. They're omnivores, meaning they'll eat pretty much anything that doesn't try to eat them first, and sometimes even things that do try to eat them first. This broad diet, coupled with those super-sensing paws, allows them to exploit a vast array of food sources that other animals simply overlook or can't access. Consider their aquatic hunting. Many of their natural food sources, crayfish, frogs, aquatic insects, even small fish, are found in murky waters or hidden amongst sediment. Trying to spot these in the dark with water-distorting light would be a nightmare for most predators, but for the raccoon, it's a sensory smorgasbord. They just dip those hands in and voila! Instant X-ray vision for their fingers. This isn't just foraging, it's precision archaeology performed entirely by touch. They can differentiate between a smooth stone and a wriggling insect larva, between a leaf and a lost wedding ring. Okay, maybe not a wedding ring, but you get the picture. This tactile prowess also aids them in another key aspect of their success: manipulating objects. Those dexterous fidgets aren't just for fondling their food, they're tools. Tools for opening stubborn trash cans, for prying apart fences, for figuring out the intricate locking mechanisms of your so-called raccoon-proof bird feeder. They are, in essence, furry little locksmiths of the wild, driven by an insatiable curiosity. So the washing isn't a sign of fastidiousness. It's a testament to their incredible sensory adaptation. It's how they map their world, both literally and gastronomically. It's why they can survive and thrive in almost any environment, from dense forests to bustling urban centers. They aren't just eating our trash, they're understanding it with a level of detail we can barely comprehend. So, what have we discovered on our wild romp through the world of the raccoon's hands? We've journeyed beyond the myth of the fastidious feeder and plunged into the fascinating reality of a creature whose primary sense isn't sight or smell, but touch, amplified to an almost supernatural degree by water. The next time you encounter a raccoon, perhaps rummaging through your compost or scaling your fence with the casual grace of a furry ninja, remember these incredible hands. Remember that while you're reaching for your phone to snap a pic, that raccoon is probably mapping the exact consistency of the discarded donut glaze, calculating the optimal angle of attack for your recycling bin, and generally being an absolute genius of tactile perception. And don't think for a second those hands are working alone. They're plugged into a brain that's running some seriously advanced, borderline illegal problem-solving software. This isn't just instinct, this is applied physics. While you're inside, proud of your new raccoon-proof latch, they're outside running a full-on cognitive audit, testing for structural weaknesses and probably ranking your efforts on a scale of pathetic to mildly annoying. The science nerds proved it. These things can solve complex puzzles, remember the solutions for years, and are probably just a few generations away from figuring out how to hotwire your car. They're not just cute, conniving critters, they're walking amphibious, nocturnal supersensors, and those washing antics are just them downloading the matrix of their meal. It's less about cleanliness and more about pure, unadulterated, delicious data acquisition. Well, there you have it, and we'd love to read about your raccoon adventures in the comments. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time, you beautiful science nerds.